All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Please do the roll call.
Chris,
Here.
Marita,
Here.
Donald,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Jim,
Here.
John, Philip.
Okay, do we have any amendments to the agenda for today's meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any amendment to the minutes for the April 8th meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any public comments unrelated to today's agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on. We have nothing on the consent calendar. We have one public hearing item. Recommendation to the Borough Assembly regarding an application to rezone borough-owned property from rural residential to single-family residential at 1016 Sandy Beach Road. Do you have any public testimony? Hearing none. Do we have a motion?
I move to recommend to the Borough Assembly that Borough zoning map be amended by rezoning government lot 12 at 1016 Sandy Beach Road from rural residential to single-family residential, including the findings of facts as presented.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
So did the borough put this in, or is this for somebody?
It was a motion of the Borough Assembly to initiate the rezone.
Was there a reason?
Well, because the other lot it's one of the only few lots over there that it's rural residential, and we just did 1020 Sandy Beach Road. This one is in a similar situation. It's rural residential. It's surrounded mostly by single family, and that whole neighborhood is more or less single family. And so if the borough wanted to sell it in the future, it made sense to just rezone it now.
Was it probably made rural residential before there was service, sewer and stuff out there? Or,
Actually, no, it was rural residential from the 1980 comp plan, right before they rezoned everything. And
Okay.
the idea was to have these much larger, a few much larger lots in that area. But then at that time, I think what they envisioned rural residential to be was these kind of estate tracts. And it didn't include things like it does now, like mobile home parks and mobile homes and a
Yeah.
whole slew of things that are now eligible under rural residential. So it was kind of a different idea of rural residential than what we have now. But I think the main reason we do have rural residential now is, in areas that we don't have those municipal services. And so
Right.
that's kind of what it's turned into. So,
okay. I just wanted the clarification on that. Thank you, Liz.
sure.
So, any further discussion?
Seems reasonable to me.
All right, we ready for the roll call?
Chris,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Marita,
Yes.
Donald, Philip.
Okay, do we have any, commissioner comments?
Yeah, I'll say something. All right, I wrote it. After listening to the borough meeting, when derogatory comments were made toward the planning commission, I felt compelled to say a few things. The order of the agenda was due to the date. This is speaking about the previous meeting with Mr. Johnson and Mr. Mazzello. Anyways, the order of the agenda was due to the date the application was complete, both the paperwork and the fees. Mr. Mazzella was on 12/20/24, and Mr. Johnson was 1/19/2025. We voted to approve David Mazzella's property, who was there to testify. Greg Johnson wanted all or nothing, and we felt that because we had already said okay to Mazzella, it was confusing to us. Mr. Johnson was not there to testify or answer questions. It incorrectly stated that they incorrectly stated that we refused to take up Mr. Johnson's application. Then we said yes to Mr. Mazzillo. That was incorrect. The borough did what they accused us of doing. They said yes to one application, but did not take up the other. Due diligence would have been served if all interested parties had been there. The mistake that we made was discussing the application after there was not a second to the motion. Robert's Rules of Order is quite a read. Brought it for example. I said it before, we are citizens that volunteer our time to help with this process, and we are not experts.
Would like to add that there was kind of the threat of a possible lawsuit based on the fact that we didn't bring up the Johnsons. If I can paraphrase what I think Scott Newman was reading off his phone. And it wasn't fictitious. It's not something that can bring about a legal penalty, but it is improper. I'll try to do better. I do wish that they had bumped it back to us since Stanton Greger, Assemblymember Stanton Greger asked, hey, if you're saying you didn't, that you're unhappy with what the work they did and you think they didn't do work, the words were actually said, they thought the Planning Commission did not do their work. I wish that it had been bumped back to us and all parties could have been present. I did see in the audience the night of the assembly meeting, homeowners off of Lake Street who wanted to buy property, but David Mazzella was absent only because his work he works for the borough and his work had sent him to Anchorage, I believe, to do for classes. He would have been present, I'm sure, and spoke when it was, does anybody want to speak on measures being taken up today? But he wasn't able to. And I think that the others on Lake Street probably didn't know the rules of Robert's Rules of Order and were there thinking they would speak when Mazzella's application was taken up, which it never was. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Liz, any staff comments?
We do have agenda items for June. Can't remember now if it's one or two, but if you could let me know if we're going to have a quorum, that would be helpful, or if we think we're going to have a quorum.
Our next meeting is June 10th at noon. I plan on being here. Anybody else?
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
So it sounds like we've got a quorum.
Great, that's
So-
fabulous. Thank you.
Any other comments? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.